Section 3.3, the polar coordinate system. All right, so the end of Math 127 is kind of a grab bag of topics. Law of sines and law of cosines fit in really well, but the remaining few topics we have to go through, the polar coordinate system, vectors, and conic sections, are a bit of a grab bag, a bit out there. So enjoy this kind of fun out there thing we're about to talk about, the polar coordinate system. So we are very used to the rectangular coordinate system. You've been using this bad boy for years. You've been doing it since grade school, plotting your x, y values on a plane. There's an x-axis. There's a y-axis. The origin's right there at 0, 0. There's uh, a pair of numbers. We put parentheses around them. The first number represents the location on the x-axis. The second number represents the location on the y-axis. So I can write the address of any point on this piece of paper, right? Imagine this as a piece of paper. I can plot any point on this piece of paper given their address. Um, Rectangular coordinate graphing paper looks exactly like this. You got your x-axis, your y-axis, right? There's a grid. You plot a point right here. This is the point 3, 4. This is a really bad graphing paper. um, the polar coordinate system is different. Instead of our x, y, we are given a pair of numbers once again, but the first number is going to be called r, and the second number will be called theta. And r is going to be exactly what you think it would be when you think of it in conjunction with theta. It's like radius. It's a distance from the origin. And theta is an angle made with the polar axis, which is the positive side of the x-axis. These two systems, and I'll come back to that polar system, but these two systems, they represent the same plane, the same piece of paper. Maybe I should do this, the same piece of paper. It's just different ways of writing the location of these points. There's different ways to write where the point exists on this little square of paper. So this right here is the positive x-axis. Theta represents an angle from that axis, just like we've been drawing all semester, right? So there's a little angle there. And then the R value represents how far out you go on that terminal side of the angle. And then you plot a point. The origin is where it always has been at 0, 0. And polar graphing paper looks a little bit like this, something we're not super used to. But you have the x-axis here with your, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? You can see them superimposed upon each other here. They then, instead of having it, as a grid, instead of those y lines, we have circles. All right, so in the next video, we'll talk about actually plotting points here, but that's just kind of the intro to what the polar coordinate system is. It's a way of plotting points. You can plot a point, but instead of plotting it based on an XY location, you plot it based on an angle from the positive x-axis and a distance outward from that origin on that terminal side of the angle. All right, I'll see you in the next video. We'll talk about plotting points. Bye.